He promises to take Battle's ship. Fully charged, Halen launches his attack. He kills Technician and hurls Big Face into a corridor where gravity is disabled. While he fights with her, Battle fires his sound pistol, but Aster shoves him, and he too is sent flying into a pipe. Aster then goes to Kennedy and Chick. She confesses that her colony went through the same ordeals and that she survived only thanks to her mother, so she fully understands their feelings. At that moment, Halen kills Big Face but is himself felled by a shot from Battle. Aster is just persuading the mother and son not to flee with the stones. The mother sends her son to the ship, but Battle intercepts him and orders new charges for the weapons. Meanwhile, Kennedy explains that her son is angry with her for not having been able to save the entire family. Aster gives her enough qubits to buy tickets and get far away from QTA's attention and asks for a favor. Later, Battle sees Aster and tries to catch up with her. Halen regains consciousness and stops Chick. Kennedy joins them and announces that Aster has made a deal. With the money received, they will take Halen with them and transport him to a safe place. However, the man refuses to fly without Aster. Meanwhile, Aster lures Battle into the airlock chamber. A quarrel then erupts between mother and son. Chick wants to earn Battle's respect and absolutely refuses to follow his mother, whom he holds responsible for the family's death. As Cooley leaves, Aster, summoning her last strength, asks Harmony for help. After receiving a stimulant, she catches up with Cooley, who is already raising her weapon, only to have Cooley plunge a knife into her back and then strangle her to ease her departure. The action shifts 180 years into the past, to a time when one of Beacon 23's first keepers, Sophie, was on duty. The woman was already in her later years, and her personal AI assistant, Bart, took care of her, even calling her mom. One day, Bart reports that a repairman is arriving at the Beacon, a repairman she never ordered. Sophie meets the man at the airlock and checks his documents, which are so pristine and impeccable that they raise suspicions. Still, Sophie permits him to do his job. However, Bart is unable to help him because she has put him to sleep. Startled, the repairman thinks that the woman is behaving strangely. Sophie then escorts him to the system console, from where he contacts his own AI, Hope, and asks to wake Bart up. But Bart does not respond to her requests. Instead, he immediately replies to Sophie's call, and she instantly recognizes Milan Aleph, the IT director of QTA. She doesn't understand why he needs this. Bart asks Sophie to stay alert, while she orders him not to stick his head out for now. Later, Sophie invites the repairman for tea, and he remarks that she has arranged the beacon like an old-fashioned house. In response, Sophie laments that the handwork has now been lost. The curtains cover the constantly twinkling stars, yet do not interfere with her duties. She talks about her sons and inquires about his family, but he confesses that he hasn't been in touch with his daughter for a long time. Milan gives her a gift, and as she opens it, she calls the man by his real name. He apologizes for the deception and confesses that he loves beacons very much, though his presence tends to unsettle people. Harmony tries to dissuade Aster from this plan. Meanwhile, Helen is once again overcome by a hallucination in which Harmony begs him to fulfill her request in order to save Aster. Later, a stone begins speaking to him and orders him to go to the antenna compartment. Helen opens the hatch, and all the stones fly out into space. They batter the hull, causing damage to the beacon, which forces Aster to call upon the AI for help. Harmony determines that the stones are orbiting the beacon, but she does not understand what governs their trajectory. Then suddenly, they arrange themselves into a beautiful, dancing pattern that Aster has seen before. The story returns to the past, when a man arrived at Beacon 23 with the intention of blowing up the structure. He attaches explosives to Bart's systems and starts the countdown. She convinces Aster to surrender. Meanwhile, Halen throws the stone into space, and Aster watches as the trio who attacked the beacon begin to quarrel. At that moment, the artifact returns. Aster looks at it from the dome, and it seems as if she is returning to her childhood, when little Parsim would run to the porthole to greet the alien. Meanwhile, Harmony offers Finch and Saldana her help in operating the beacon. However, the pair rejects her offer. Suddenly, Aster feels unwell and descends, where she is met by a caustic Saldana, indignant at Care's deference toward her. But she is distracted by Harmony, who reports that the newcomers might break through the airlock and enter the beacon. At that very moment, Halen engages in battle with the QTA crafts and destroys them, yet his own ship also malfunctions. Meanwhile, Care tries to compel Aster to communicate with the artifact, although she insists she doesn't know how to do so. Halen returns to the beacon, where the criminal pair is attempting to blackmail him. However, he easily disarms Saldana and refuses to be their pilot. He intends to leave on his own and take Aster with him. Harmony informs him about Bart's death, which leaves the soldier perplexed. The AI explains that the QTA crafts came here because of the artifact and Aster. At that moment, the woman again recalls her childhood interactions with the artifact. Halen urges her not to let Care influence her. Finch and Saldana prepare to leave the beacon, using Aster as leverage against QTA. Harmony warns them against this, promising severe punishment. Meanwhile, Aster offers Halen to fly with her into the artifact. She is convinced that she can do it, and that it will be safe for both of them. Suddenly, technical malfunctions arise on the beacon, associated with the approach of an unusual ship, a ship on which a quantum AI, Aleph, arrives. Harmony reminds everyone that he is her creator, so she won't be able to contend with him. Aster makes a wry comment about the boss personally interfering in his subordinates' affairs and agrees to speak with him. Halen arms himself, though it is useless against Aleph, while Care tries to persuade Aster not to reveal the artifact's secrets to Aleph, as he might use that knowledge to harm humanity. Care steals Halen's pistol as Aster sinks into a vision in which little Parson sees an adult Aster in a beautiful dress, while Halen whispers something into the girl's ear. However, suddenly Care appears and shoots Aster. The woman hits her head on the railing and falls, blood streaming from her head. Holland rushes to help her, calling for harmony. In her eyes, the artifact glows, and little Parsim asks the adult Aster about the message. Despite the plot promising an exciting journey into a future where humanity has mastered interstellar travel, the series suffers from a lack of depth in character development. The dialogues are rather incomprehensible, and some plot lines remain unresolved. The acting does not impress either. The visual effects and costume design fail to evoke any particular enthusiasm. In short, the series clearly does not measure up to the highest standards.